November 8th, 2004, after months of fierce fighting, insurgent groups had transformed the city of Fallujah into a fortress. Hundreds of heavily armed fighters occupied homes, apartment buildings, mosques, and schools. They dug fighting positions into concrete walls, stockpiled weapons throughout the city, and prepared for one purpose only: to inflict as many American casualties as possible. The streets themselves had become weapons. Improvised explosive devices lined major roads. Buildings were connected by holes blasted through interior walls, allowing insurgents to move from house to house without ever stepping outside. Machine guns covered key intersections, while RPG teams waited in upper story windows for American armored vehicles to enter their kill zones. In the early hours of November 8th, more than 10,000 American Marines, soldiers, and Iraqi security forces launched Operation Phantom Fury, one of the largest urban assaults the United States had conducted since the Vietnam War. Leading the assault were U.S. Marine infantry units, and watching over them were Marine Scout snipers. Long before the first Marines entered the city streets, sniper teams had already begun slipping into overwatch positions overlooking the avenues of advance. Their mission wasn't simply to eliminate enemy fighters, it was to find the threats that the Marines on the ground couldn't see until it was too late. As dawn slowly crept over the shattered skyline, one sniper team scanned the rows of battered apartment buildings through their optics. The streets appeared empty, no movement, no gunfire, nothing. Then the spotter broke the silence. Movement, second floor, white building, left window. The sniper settled behind his rifle, placing the crosshairs on the dark opening of the window. For several long seconds, nothing happened. Then, an insurgent stepped into the window carrying an RPG and looked down toward a column of Marines advancing through the intersection below. The insurgent leaned farther into the shattered window, the tube of the RPG now resting against the frame as he searched for a target below. Less than 200 yards away, a squad of Marines was beginning to move through the intersection, completely exposed and unaware of the threat. There was no time to warn the Marines below, only time to take the shot. The rifle cracked. The insurgent collapsed behind the window in a second before he was able to fire the rocket. But almost instantly, the city came alive. Automatic gunfire erupted from multiple directions. Tracer rounds slashed through the morning air as insurgents opened fire from rooftops, alleyways, and upper story windows. Within seconds, what had looked like an abandoned neighborhood transformed into a maze of hidden fighting positions. It was now clear that the insurgent with the RPG was intended to be the man to kick off the ambush. And I guess in a way he did manage to kick off the ambush, but certainly not in the way he intended. The sniper team continued picking off insurgents that had taken elevated positions while the Marines on the ground dealt with everything below. Within just a few minutes, the fight was over, but the battle for Fallujah had just begun. Below the sniper team's rooftop, Marine infantry pushed into the first city blocks, clearing buildings one room at a time. Every doorway concealed another unknown. Every staircase could lead to an ambush. Insurgents had spent months preparing the city, knocking holes through interior walls so they could move between houses without exposing themselves to American fire. The sniper slowly swept his optic across the surrounding buildings, checking windows and rooftops. Suddenly, another fighter sprinted across a narrow alleyway, carrying ammunition to nearby defensive positions. The spotter called him out, and the sniper managed to drop the moving target with extreme precision. If you want to see the uncensored footage from this video that was too graphic for YouTube, our Patreon page currently has a whopping 90% off sale, so now is the perfect time to join and access our full library of uncensored footage. But his job wasn't to rack up kills, it was to keep the Marines below alive long enough to finish their mission. Then suddenly, an urgent transmission came over the radio. Another squad of Marines was taking heavy fire from an apartment building. The sniper team was able to shift to the the other end of the rooftop they were on and get an angle on the building. Several windows overlooked the Marines' avenue of advance, giving the insurgents an ideal firing position. Within moments, the sniper team began directing the Marines toward the most dangerous enemy positions while also engaging exposed fighters whenever they presented themselves. As the Marines on the ground laid down heavy suppressing fire on the apartment building, the snipers slowly picked off insurgents as they exposed themselves, picking off the enemy forces one at a time. The assault continued just like this, block by block. The Marines blasted through walls rather than exposing themselves in the streets. Tanks and armored vehicles provided covering fire against fortified buildings. Engineers searched relentlessly for IEDs hidden beneath piles of rubble and abandoned vehicles. Every few minutes, another burst of gunfire echoed through the city. Another rooftop, another window, another ambush. As the morning wore on, it became painfully clear that Fallujah would not fall in a single day. The insurgents had no intention of retreating. They intended to make the Marines fight for every street, every building, and every room. And for the scout snipers watching over the advance, the mission had only become more difficult because somewhere ahead, deeper inside the city, experienced enemy fighters were beginning to realize they weren't just being hunted by Marines on the ground, someone was hunting them from above. By midday, the fight had spread across northern Fallujah. High above the streets, the scout sniper team had already relocated twice. They never stayed in one position for long. Every shot risked revealing where they were. Every rooftop they occupied could quickly become the target of enemy machine guns, mortars, or a determined counterattack. The spotter slowly scanned the streets below through his scope. He found 3 armed personnel moving east 200 yards away. The sniper shifted his rifle as the enemy fighters ducked into a damaged apartment building overlooking the Marines' route of advance. Seconds later, the spotter noticed movement in another window, then another. "This isn't a patrol," he whispered. "They're setting up." The sniper watched as figures moved furniture and debris away from the windows, creating firing positions overlooking the street below. The sniper looked down at the street. A squad of Marines was approaching, unaware that multiple insurgents were preparing to engage them from elevated positions. The sniper immediately relayed the enemy locations over the radio, allowing the lead Marines to halt before walking into the kill zone. Within moments, the street erupted into gunfire as Marines returned fire, called for armored support, and began maneuvering to clear the buildings. The sniper team remained focused. They weren't trying to fight the battle themselves. They were trying to give the Marines below something even more valuable: time. Time to identify the ambush, time to change their approach, and time to stay alive. As the firefight intensified, an M1 Abrams tank rolled into the intersection. Its massive cannon trained on the apartment building that had become the center of the enemy's defense. One thunderous blast shook the street, sending dust, concrete, and shattered glass pouring from the upper floors. The Marines capitalized on the moment and immediately pushed forward. Within minutes, they were inside the building, clearing it room by room. For the sniper team, there was no time to watch the outcome. The spotter had already found more movement several blocks away. More insurgents, more rooftops, more windows. Fallujah wasn't defended by one bunker or one stronghold. It was an entire city built to bleed the assault force. As daylight began to fade, the fighting showed no signs of slowing down. If anything, it became even more violent. The insurgents understood they couldn't defeat the Marines in a conventional battle. Instead, they fought exactly the way they had planned for months, forcing American forces into brutal, close-range engagements where every doorway, every hallway, and every staircase became another opportunity for an ambush. The sniper team had now occupied 4 different rooftops since sunrise. Each move was deliberate: fire a few carefully placed shots, relocate, observe, repeat. The sniper called out another enemy position: machine gun nest, 3rd floor, broken balcony. An insurgent had wedged a machine gun between 2 broken sections of concrete, pinning down a Marine squad that had taken cover behind a damaged wall nearly 300 yards away. The Marines couldn't move. Every attempt to cross the street was met with another burst of automatic fire. The sniper waited. The machine gunner briefly exposed himself while adjusting his position. One squeeze of the trigger, and the fighter collapsed. Almost immediately, the Marines seized the opportunity, sprinting across the street and disappearing into the next building before another insurgent could take over the position. The radio erupted with another call: enemy movement, rooftop north side. The sniper swung his rifle toward the next block. Several armed fighters were attempting to reposition across adjoining rooftops, likely trying to flank the Marines advancing below. Again, the sniper and spotter worked as a team. The spotter identified the movement, and the sniper engaged the exposed fighters. When the remaining insurgents disappeared behind cover, the sniper team immediately transmitted their last known positions to the Marines, allowing the assault force to adjust before walking into another surprise attack. Hour after hour, the same deadly pattern repeated itself all across Fallujah. American engineers blasted holes through walls instead of entering exposed doorways. Abrams tanks reduced heavily fortified buildings that infantry couldn't safely assault. Assault teams cleared one room while another squad secured the rooftop above them. And from elevated overwatch positions, Marine scout snipers searched for the split-second mistakes that enemy fighters inevitably made. By nightfall, coalition forces had secured portions of the northern city, but no one believed the battle was close to over. Hundreds of insurgents were still fighting from deeper inside Fallujah. The hardest days were still ahead, and for the sniper team, the mission remained exactly the same as it had been that morning: stay hidden, stay patient, and make sure the Marines below make it home. For nearly 6 days, the battle raged, street by street, building by building, room by room. Every morning, the Marines pushed deeper into Fallujah. Every night, insurgents attempted to regroup inside the shattered city, launching surprise attacks from hidden fighting positions they had spent months preparing. For the scout snipers, exhaustion had become just another part of the mission. Sleep came in short intervals. Meals were often eaten wherever they happened to stop. The rifle rarely left their hands. Even after days of fighting, the city remained unpredictable. A street that had been quiet an hour earlier could suddenly erupt into gunfire. A building declared secure could hide another determined group of insurgents behind a concealed wall or inside a hidden room. Late one afternoon, the sniper team established another overwatch position overlooking a broad avenue where Marine engineers were preparing to move forward. The city was unusually quiet, almost too quiet. The spotter continued scanning through his optic, methodically checking each rooftop and apartment window. Then he stopped. Movement, second floor. The sniper settled in behind the rifle. An armed insurgent cautiously leaned into the opening, watching the Marines below, while another fighter moved into a position behind him carrying what appeared to be an RPG. The sniper didn't rush. He wanted the RPG, so he waited until the greater threat fully exposed himself. And when he did, one shot broke the silence. The man with the RPG crumbled as the round struck him in the head. The second man vanished from behind the window. And moments later, the Marines below altered their route, avoiding what appeared to have been another planned ambush. It wasn't a spectacular moment. There were no cheering crowds, just another quiet decision that may have spared American lives. By the second week of fighting, organized insurgent resistance inside Fallujah was beginning to collapse. Coalition forces had seized key government buildings, strongholds, and transportation routes, steadily dismantling the defensive network that had turned the city into a fortress. When the operation finally came to an end, Fallujah had been reclaimed, but at a tremendous cost. More than 90 American service members were killed during Operation Phantom Fury, and hundreds more were wounded. Iraqi security forces also suffered significant losses. Thousands of insurgents were killed or captured as coalition forces dismantled one of the most heavily defended urban strongholds of the Iraq War. The Marine scout snipers who supported the assault were only one part of that enormous effort. They didn't capture buildings, they didn't clear rooms, they didn't drive tanks through barricades, but from rooftops and shattered buildings overlooking the battlefield, they quietly protected the Marines advancing below, finding threats before they became ambushes, identifying enemy positions, and giving their fellow Marines precious seconds that often meant the difference between life and death. Their names may never be as widely known as some of the battle's most famous heroes, but their patience, discipline, and precision helped make one of the most difficult urban operations in modern American military history a success. This video is dedicated to every man and woman who fought in the battle to reclaim Fallujah. We honor you and we remember your sacrifice. Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1 verse 9. If you're distant from the Lord today, this is for you. God has brought you to the very end of my long-winded video to call you closer to Him. Take some time today to meet Him in prayer and read His Word. Psalms 34 verse 8 says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in Him." If you've tried everything else but still don't have peace and still feel that sense of emptiness inside, today is the day to try Jesus.